Once again, welcome to Sculpt Quest. With you seated is Marvin Tabi Ashu, and with me I have a host, a sister and a friend who goes by the name Miss Hilda from Kenya, to be precise. So I'm so happy to have you here.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
I'm pleased. Finally, you made it.
Finally, I made it.
Yeah. So, as you guys already know, I think the last subject that we at least had a conversation on was about this relationship thing and the conflict between men and women, who is solely responsible for the differences that we have in Europe concerning relationship and our family orientation,
Yeah.
Africans being abroad. So I know that I also have an extensive conversation with you about the release that went out about women being the problem, which I think I took side with women, putting blames on men and then giving them the reason why I feel like it's not a woman thing. And then the second video after that was women actually getting to know that, okay, they actually need to do something to better up the situation here. So I strongly understand that you have something to add on to this as a woman and as a woman living abroad too.
Yeah. Basically, it's not that the woman needs to do something alone or the
Right.
man needs to do something alone,
Right.
because I believe marriage is a two-way traffic.
True.
You are together, so it's a two-way traffic, and I strongly feel that at some given point a boy child has been neglected. People making and molding small and young men and boys to be husbands are no longer there, especially in the African culture,
Okay.
and also in our today's life here in Europe. And that has resulted to something that has really taken toll of a man.
Okay.
And the women are against it. That shows that more female are becoming more of alpha females.
All right.
This is the result whereby the woman is striving more economically, socially, mentally, and bettering themselves day in, day out. And a man is left somewhere just lost.
That's a strong one right there to say men are left out. Just
Yeah,
lost.
truly.
We can always get into debate regarding this, but because those brothers out there are not going to take it easy to hear that
they are lost. Do you know how many men I get to listen to every day? I get paid to do this. I listen to problems of men. And they are truly lost, because if you deal with an alpha female and you are not an alpha male, then you don't know what to do with a very strong charactered woman.
Okay, I do agree with you on this, but again, I'd like for you to explain to me the difference between a feminist and an alpha female, because I feel like it's the same thing. So if you think there is a difference between these two characters, then you can share with us.
A feminist is something that is really different from a female that is an alpha. An alpha is very embracing, me being one of them. And you find that a feminist is always on the defense mode. Alpha female are more laid back. They wait to see.
But you talked about having a strong character.
They have, yes, they do have a strong character, but most of the time they are a little bit laid so that you can give the energy. And most alpha females, we lay back. An alpha female lays back to receive an energy. But if that energy is left blank, then that's when they act. And that is why we have most men, they are lost in terms of emotions, in terms of they don't know where to run to. There is that void. There is a void in terms of you cannot be in a marriage with somebody and feel lonely. Many people in the generation of 80s, people who are 40s, my age, they are yet in marriage, they have children, they achieve everything here in Europe, but they will tell you they feel lonely. Why?
Do you think it's because of the European system that brings about this kind of void inside, or you think it's because there is no emotional attachment between these couples, or
Well, it's just not the system, because we have this problem also in Africa. We have this problem in America. We have this problem also here in Europe. It's not about the culture in Europe. It is something, it's a wave that has come and it has overtaken us, and we are overtaken by events. Because, for instance, when I was growing back home, we had a culture, and up to date, this culture is there, whereby a lady is, a girl is growing to a lady after you get to, from being a teenager, and you have your aunties, your mama, and somewhere else, even in the church, bringing you and teaching you how to be a wife. Okay? But we had a culture, the same culture for the boys, but it was neglected.
just like that of the girls have been neglected.
Yeah, the boys were neglected.
And they are still just like the girls too, because it's a two-way thing, if I may say.
If don't get me wrong. For the girls, it was neglected before, because right now they feel is old-fashioned. Okay, but for the boys, it was neglected because no one wanted to take the full responsibility. That is one.
Do you?
Education-wise, also we have been affected. This the boy child has been affected also. Okay, right-wise, when you look at at some of the cultures that right now we have, like here in Europe, I was very shocked, and I'm always devastated. Actually, the reason as to why that I've subjected myself to be listening to problems of men and a boy child is because in this country we have the rights of a mother comes first, and a child, and a dog. Then a man comes last.
So again, are we still saying it's a European system? Because we cannot strive as men in a society where they have put us last. Meanwhile, where we are coming from, we are at the hem.
Again, we go back to that point where it is not only the culture. When we go back home, it's not about the culture. It's the education that has affected a man or a boy growing to become a man.
Okay.
In Africa, a man is not supposed to cry. In Africa, a man is not supposed to say, I'm broke. They are not. A man in Africa is not a being to show their vulnerability. And for this reason, you find that a man is married to an African woman. They're living in an African kind of culture and setting, but this man will not give you, as the wife, the full nakedness. The full nakedness of a man is not him removing clothes or getting intimate with you.
Okay.
This is a man who is
not willing to show you his true self.
Willing to show you, I am vulnerable.
Right.
I am at my breaking point. And most men are not ready to show you this in Africa.
I mean, that took me into a deeper space, because this actually has to do with, when I listen to you, I sense that we are looking at psychological problem right now, because because of some of these belief system that we grew up in as Africans. I mean, we ended up, getting so deep in ourselves. And we bury a lot of things inside of us that makes us feel ashamed of ourselves when one tries to really like put out their worries out there as a man. And so there comes the depression part that we always talk about in our community, especially those of us in Europe. Again, I also sense that as a result of a man not being able to express his true self, because I think, talking about the education here now, it is being passed down from somebody high up above you to the smallest one below. So if I am that kind of a man who has already gone through that kind of challenge in life, automatically that is what I know and that is what I believe in. So again, my son will also have to pick on that, growing up, getting to know that, okay, this is what I saw daddy doing. And so your advice to us men, what would really be your advice? Because I think if somebody doesn't come out to talk about this, to sensitize the masses, we are going to keep on transferring this same aggression, this same pain, and this same bitterness to our sons. And so we are not helping our future generation, especially looking at where we are, because we want the best for our sons and daughters, isn't it? So I would like for you to really like help us understand furthermore on how to fix this thing. Okay, help me love my wife. Help me love my girlfriend. This is the case that we are dealing with right now. So you as a woman, I think you stand a better chance to help our brothers understand that this is what fellow women are expecting from them.
Well, it's also we might end up. This is quite a very large and a deep topic, because as a mother, I have daughters.
Right.
I will bring up my daughters the correct way. They don't have a father figure at the moment. As I explained, I am a widow.
I see.
I have been a widow for some years, and when I look at my son, I had to step in, be a father and a mother at the same time. But I had to go an extra mile to look for someone to stand in as a father figure.
Right. I wanted to ask you, how do you do that? But
I look at my son and I look at myself as a mother, as a friend, and as a wife. There are things I would not want his wife to miss in my son. And the only person who can bring them out is not only me as a mother. There has to be a man who is enjoying marriage, who is enjoying being a daddy,
right,
who is enjoying being a parent, who is enjoying working, and who is also enjoying all the energies and all the strategies and all the demands that come with being a real man. Yeah. I know. I know it's a big surprise when it's quite difficult, but this is.
Yeah, but I get it, because when I listen to you, it falls deep.